Trains are an important part of the Create mod, and allow for interesting and effective long-distance logistical networks. In Create, trains are slightly more complex than most mechanisms. This guide shows how to make them and how to use them. In order for trains to run properly, you're going to need track. In order to create track, you'll need to take a stone slab and deploy 2 iron nuggets or zinc nuggets onto it, and then press that to make train track. Now, this process makes 1 track, and you're going to need a lot of track, so it's a good idea to automate the track creation process. When placing track, you can place individual sections with a right click. You can also right-click an existing track with track in your hand. This will allow you to click another block to almost draw the track. This allows you to make turns and inclines. When placing track in this way, there are some restrictions, which are highlighted by the green and red zones you can see. In general, you cannot make a single segment of track longer than 32 blocks, turn more than 90 degrees, increase in elevation too sharply, among others. Finally, if you wish to stop placing in bulk, shift right-click any piece of track with the shimmering track in your hand. You can also make a few different types of track intersections. If you have 2 perpendicular sections of track, they will automatically create a 4-way intersection. Furthermore, you can also make branches and merges by right-clicking on a section of track that is already a part of a completed line and connecting it elsewhere. This works in much the same fashion for merging as well. Finally, if you're holding a block in your offhand when you build track like this, it will fill any blocks underneath the track that aren't currently occupied by another block. Now, in order to make a train, you're going to need a few things. First up is train casing, which its recipe requires you to have made brass and do automated processes like deploying and crushing. You'll also need super glue in order to hold your train together. And you will need a train station in order to control and build your train. These train stations are an integral part of the railway. To place one down, right-click a section of track, and then place the station nearby. To create a train, you access the interface and click the Create a New Train button. This will enter almost a building mode for the track. It is important to note you can only build trains on a straight section of track. Next, you can take your train casing and then right-click on any blue sections of track. This creates a train bogie. These are like the wheels of your train. They connect to the track. You can right-click the green section of track underneath with a train casing to change its style to whatever you wish. Now that you have a bogie, you can use super glue to expand your train. You can even add another bogie. Once you have 1 or more bogies, you have a train carriage. Now, your train can have multiple train carriages, but each train carriage can only have upwards of 2 bogies. Finally, you will need train controls. These control the train, hence the name. You have to glue these onto the train, facing the correct direction. And now you will have a train. All you have to do is go back to your train station and click Assemble Train. If your train has some kind of error, like this one does not have a train control, and you try to assemble the train, you will get an error telling you what exactly the error is. You can also put inventories on your train, like chests, barrels, tanks, or vaults. To exchange items and fluids from your train, you will need to use either the portable storage interface or the portable fluid interface. One thing to keep in note, however, is these interfaces will only work with the carriage that they are attached to. For instance, this fluid interface will only put things in tanks connected to this carriage. If I have another carriage, it will not put any fluid into this tank. Once you've assembled your train, it's time to drive. It is recommended that you use a seat as well, so you do not fall off the train while driving. You know when you are driving when a bar above your hotbar appears. When driving, you can press the W key to move forward, and the S key to move backward. Now keep in mind that trains have a lot of inertia, meaning it takes longer for them to slow down. If you encounter a split in the track, you can choose which direction to have the train go by pressing left, right, or not pressing any direction. The arrow at the bottom of your screen indicates which direction you are aiming to head. So if I wish to head left, I'm going to press the left key and move forward. If I wish to head forward, I just press forward without any directional keys. If you encounter the end of the track, you will get a message informing you that the carriage has reached the end of the track. Don't worry, this hasn't broken the train at all. You can simply reverse and continue driving. If you run into another train on the track, you will hear an explosion sound and get a message that a collision has happened. But don't worry, nothing has actually been damaged. If you take your wrench, you can right-click the train to relocate it back onto some track. This will put it back on the rails, and you can continue driving it. Now, trains in the Create mod can be incredibly complex, and there's a lot to cover. I have not mentioned everything that there is to cover in this video. If you wish to learn more information, you can check the Create Wiki, the in-game Ponder function, or leave a comment below and I will do my best to respond. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was informative on how to make trains, and I will see you later.